Oh, hey, Greg, you're an hour early. Hello. Hello. Hi, Greg, you're an hour early. Welcome to the Zoom. I'm only turning it on right now to test if I can send the video to YouTube. So this is just a technical test. I wonder if Greg is even around or he's just logged in early. Okay, well, let's see if I can make this work. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. Testing something. Council accounts meeting. Okay, so right. Let me see if I can make this work. Okay. Yes, that is my account. Test. Go live. User is not enabled for live streaming. Okay, how do I fix this? Probably should have fixed this earlier. Let's see. Dem Club, San Diego County. Let's see. Not me. Let's see if I can make this work. Use another account. Aha. Okay. Sign into Zoom to continue. Cannot find this Google account. Okay, let me see. I want to record to that channel. So if I go to YouTube channel, accepted the invitation. Channel dashboard says I'm a manager. Okay, Dem Clubs of San Diego. Settings. Channel. Right now, resume recording. Okay, now we are official. Okay, meeting is now called to order. Any other new presidents that would like to introduce themselves? Okay, great.
Madam Chair, I'm getting messages from people that some people are having difficulty with the link.
Which link?
The Zoom link.
Okay, I'm not sure why. We've got 52 people here, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Okay. Yeah, not sure what to say about that. I will put the original Zoom link in the chat, and if somebody's having an issue with that, I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. So
Sonara, my computer keeps Zoom links in it when it's automatically in my calendar, and it reverted back to the old one. So maybe that's the
Got it.
problem.
That could be it. That could be it. So yes, there is a new Zoom link for this meeting. If people are using the old Zoom link that no longer works, that was someone's personal Zoom link. We're now moving to a Zoom link for the party. So I'm going to copy and paste the Zoom link in the chat that the party has provided. That will be our Zoom link going forward. So yes, if someone is using the own Zoom link, that would definitely be a problem. Okay. Okay, next thing on the agenda, now that we have everyone here and we have your attention, is what someone else had put in the chat, which was the question of the calendar and the contact info. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now because better to do it while everyone's in the room. Okay, so I'm going to go to our link for our, first of all, for our agenda. Let me share my screen with everyone so you can all see what I'm doing. See. Okay, great. So here we go. These are the slides that we're going over today. This is our meeting. This is also in the chat. And if someone wants to repeat it in the chat for people that added late, that would be fine. So we've had the welcome for new clubs and club presidents. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the calendar. I want to make sure that everybody's club is accurately reflected on our San Diego Democratic Party calendar page. Okay, and I'm going to put this in, if someone can put this in the chat as well. Okay, we're going to do a quick check because it's a new year and people have moved their meeting times for their clubs. So I want everyone to check on the calendar and make sure that your club meeting is correct. If it is not correct, please go ahead and put in the chat the correct info, the name of your club, when it is meeting, etc. So Indranil, if you could help me, I'm just having a world of hurt here.
No problem. Give me 1 sec here to just open up a browser and I will open up the club calendar for everyone.
Yes. I'm sharing it or trying to share it, but
Not a problem at all. Hang on 1 second.
I just want to put it in the chat as well.
All right. Can everyone see a browser window? And I'll move this to March so that we have a.
All I am seeing is a message that says Zoom has started screen sharing, but I don't see a shared screen.
There should be a screen that can someone confirm that they're seeing my screen?
I see the same thing.
Okay.
Me also, I'm afraid.
Same thing here.
Let me try. Okay.
Same
All right.
here.
All right. Oh, I see that. All right. Share screen.
And it may be me because I was trying to share the screen at the same time.
Okay. How about now?
Not yet.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
yes.
so all right, Sonara, go and click stop share.
I can't. It's spinning.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. SDCDP Zoom has started share screen. Okay. All right,
Right.
there we go. Okay, actually, let me try it now. Can everyone see?
There we go. Yes.
All right. Woo,
There we
technology.
go.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to check your contact information on the sheet. Everybody's here today. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. And check your contact information on your sheet and check your entry on the calendar below. If you find that your contact info is incorrect in any way, or your entry in the calendar is incorrect anyway, please let us know in the chat. You can either chat me directly or put it in the group chat for everyone, since this is public info. We just want to make sure going forward that people can find your club when they want to join. So that's the point of this little exercise.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Oops. And I put in the chat the link to this page. So please, again, look at the chat, pull up the link to this page, see if your club calendar is at the right time and your club contact info, which is shown above the calendar, is correct for your club.
Sonara, is it two separate links? One is for the
No,
contact information? It's one link?
it's one link. It's sddemocrats.org /clubs.html.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Okay, great. So with that, we're going to move on, but feel free to continue checking this as our next speakers speak, which is our guests, our elected officials and candidates. You will have 1 minute apiece if you are a elected official or party leader or a candidate to make an announcement. And we will begin now. So who would like to make an announcement? We have Doug Case, his hand is in the air first. So Doug, would you like to begin?
Okay, I'm Doug Case. I am the Political Affairs Director for Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins. The senator likes to send certificates of recognition to all newly elected club presidents. And so if your club has elected a new president and they have not received a certificate yet, you can email me their name and mailing address and I'll get those prepared. I'll put that information in the chat. Legislature is just beginning. Major issue is the budget, and the Senate Democratic theme for the budget this year is protecting our progress. And so even though we're facing a deficit situation instead of a surplus, we're hoping to be able to protect the gains we've made recently. You may have seen last week that the middle income tax credit that was issued to many Californians, ranging from $200 to $1,050, has been determined to be not taxable. And so that'll be good information for people to have. And finally, the senator introduced her first bill, which is SB 385, which would allow nurse practitioners who receive specified training to be able to perform, not nurse practitioners, physician assistants, to be able to perform first trimester abortions. It's similar to a bill she did last year for nurse practitioners and certified midwives. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's keep it to a minute. Next person up is Heather Ferbert.
Good morning. I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Heather Ferbert. San Diegans are going to elect a new city attorney this next year, and it's a critical office for protecting consumers, workers, and the environment. I'm running because we need a city attorney we can trust to deliver urgently needed progress. As a chief deputy city attorney, I've spent my career serving the public and tackling tough problems. I wrote the law that stopped evictions during the pandemic to keep families safe in their homes. I've broken through bureaucracy to combat the housing shortage, and I worked hard to ensure that San Diego is a safe place for anyone to access an abortion. Those are the values I've fought for my entire career and will continue to fight for as your city attorney. I'm also a working mom, and I know the struggles working families face and the challenges facing our youth. At the end of the day, the top priority for me will always be upholding the law equally and fighting to move San Diego forward. I'm looking forward to getting to know you all and working together to advance our shared values, and I'd be honored to earn your support. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Michelle, this is for elected officials. So will you be speaking in your capacity as ADEM person? We're going to do general announcements at the end.
I'm not an ADEM person. I'm a regional director elected through the party.
That is correct. Yes. So will you be speaking in that capacity?
Yes, as the regional director for Area 20.
Okay.
So one of the things that Sonara just referred to or alluded to is that I run the ADEM elections, but I am actually the liaison. That's only 1/3 of our delegates that go to the California Democratic Party and our delegates to the California Democratic Party. So 1/3 are the ADEMs that were the elections that just concluded. And the other third, another third is from our central committee, and clubs do participate with that. And then the last third are the elected officials or the Democratic nominees that get appointed. And this is going on right now. So I'm just letting people know that the upcoming convention for the California Democratic Party is happening on May 26th through 20, Los Angeles. And then the pre-endorsement for the upcoming election for 2024 is going to be happening in September or October of this year. So just kind of putting that on people's radar because it's going to come up really quick. And that's mainly it. If anyone has any questions related to the California Democratic Party, writing resolutions, all of that stuff, which a lot of our clubs do, they present resolutions to the state party, please call me and I'm happy to walk people through that. Thank you. And if for those that don't know, I'm blind, so the best way to reach me is by phone, and you're welcome to put my phone number in the chat.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much, Michelle. State Assembly Member Brian Mainshine.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Mainshine, Assembly Member for the 76th District. I'm running in the upcoming election. I'll be running for San Diego City Attorney. I've been a lawyer prior to getting elected to the San Diego City Council, where I served for 8 years. After that, I was the Commissioner on Homelessness, created Project 25 to deal with chronic homelessness. I'm a professor at USD Law School. I've also been a professor at Cal Western School of Law. While serving on the Assembly, I've been on the Judiciary Committee for 10 years. I am now recently was named the chair of the Judiciary Committee. It's the first time that somebody from San Diego has chaired the Judiciary Committee. We oversee the courts, the judicial, work with the Judicial Council, and oversee the state bar. And so very excited for the opportunities that brings. I know many, if not most of you, look forward to working with you and chatting with you all as this goes forward. So thanks for having me this morning. Look forward to seeing you all soon.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for keeping it under a minute. Okay, if there are there any other elected officials or candidates that would like to make an announcement? Okay, I see none. So let's move on to the next order of business of our calendar. So Indranil, would you mind sharing your screen again?
Sorry, what am I sharing now?
The presentation again. We're going back to the presentation, the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just give me one moment to pull the agenda up here.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, it's I'm grateful you're doing it. So everyone knows this is my first time chairing this meeting, and my computer is of course glitching. So very grateful for the Club Development Committee. Let's see. And if anyone would like to follow along, here are our agenda slides. Okay, great. So we are currently on to after elected officials. So down on slide 8. Slide 8, please. Okay, great. So this is our Club Development Committee for this year, as we just alluded to. Myself, I'm the Director of Council of Clubs. Thank you all, and I'm excited to be chairing my first meeting. In Metro West, we have Indranil Banerjee, who's been already an enormous assistance. Also co-hosting this meeting is North Coastal Representative Rob Howard, North Inland Representative Hugh Rothman, could not make it today. East is Kira Green, who is taking notes, and our South Region representative is Anna Webb. So that is who is on the line today, and we appreciate you very much for being here. Next slide, please. As Michelle just spoke to, we are also we are affiliated with the San Diego County Democratic Party, but also with the California Democratic Party. And the regions are the 18th, 19th, and the 20th. Most of us are in Region 20. That is Michelle Krug. She's our regional director. I also have up on the screen the emails for the California state directors in Region 18 or 19 if you are in far north San Diego County. Next slide, please. Okay, now we're on to the real business at hand, the Club of the Year Committee. So the Club of the Year Committee, the Club of the Year vote. We will be voting on Club of the Year today, the past winners have been the AAPI Democratic Club, the Escondido Young Democrats, Pacific Beach Democratic Club, Fallbrook Democratic Club, and Democratic Club of Vista. As the past winners of this honor, they were part of the nominating committee, which helped us identify, select, and coach the clubs to be nominated for Club of the Year. And we had some great clubs nominated this year. If you could please show the next slide. Okay. How are we going to evaluate these nominations? The award is going to be given to a club that has set an example for other clubs through innovative programs, community outreach, political influence, growth, and positive impact on the community. Each club can produce an end of the year report that includes a checklist of objective criteria, including but not limited to. And this is what we gave, the next slide, please, is the criteria that we gave to the clubs to put in their presentation. So we've asked clubs to tell us the number of meetings they've held, the number of new members they gained, the number of members that renewed, the number of members at the meetings, the diversity of their membership, the number of Go Team members, their participation in voter registration, types of programs, and how received, including elected officials, when they were last considered and or selected for Club of the Year, when their representation and participation on Council of Clubs. So with that, I'd like to present the clubs that were nominated and have accepted their nomination. That is the next slide. They are the Coronado Democratic Club, Democrats for Equality, Poway Democrat, and Poway Democratic Club. Now, in the announcements that came out earlier, you all received links to their presentations, which they're going to give to you live today. So if you've had a chance to review that in advance, great. Now, as they're presenting, we still have a number of people here who have not renamed themselves. Now, when it comes time to vote, if you are representing a club as the voting member, please rename your name in your Zoom to your name, comma, the name of your club. If you're having trouble doing this, please put it in the chat and myself or one of the co-hosts will help rename you. So I see a number of people here that may be representing a club that do not have their name yet renamed to their name, comma, the name of their club. So, with that in mind, I think we can begin. Can we go on to the next slide, please? Oops. Okay. Oh, sorry. That's the next topic. Okay, back to that slide. Okay, great. With that in mind, I'm going to make these clubs co-hosts in order to begin. So I have them listed alphabetically. And if there is no opposition to that, that is how the clubs are going to be presenting. They will get 5 minutes for their presentation, followed by 5 minutes from questions for the audience. I'm not going to be super strict. I'm not going to cut someone off mid-sentence if they go over the 5 minutes, but please, try to finish up your thought so that we can move on to the next club, because we have 3 great clubs that we need to get through, and then hopefully a spirited debate. So with that in mind, let me see who will be presenting on behalf of the Coronado Democratic Club, who will be sharing their screen.
Good morning, Senera. This is Marely Ramirez. I will be presenting.
Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead here and make you a co-host so that you can present, and go ahead if you'd like to share your screen.
Sure. Do you see my screen?
I do not yet. Sometimes it takes a minute. My computer, it was certainly taking a minute.
Okay.
Yes, now we have it.
Okay. Let me see. I have the Zoom tab above it, so I'm going to get to slideshow.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marely Ramirez. I am the president of the Coronado Democratic Club. I'm going to jump right in because we have 5 minutes. I'll tell you something about us. In 2022, we had 166 renewals, 33 new members. That means 99 members. We had a very challenging year last year. There was a political divide, not that that's finished, it continues. So with that in mind, we had a mission highlight to defend democracy in the city council, school board, protecting the environment, increasing diversity and inclusion, and strengthening the relationship with our youth through the Coronado High School Young Dems. I don't know how to go on to my next slide. Not going.
Probably if you just click or press enter.
It's paused.
The space bar also works.
Thank you. Oh no.
Maybe the right mouse. And don't worry, I've stopped the timer. Don't be too worried about the time. We now only have 3 clubs presenting. So
Yeah, there it goes. All right, so it skipped the slide. There it goes. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so here's what the big challenge for us in 2022 was. We had a local far group that showed up and became extremely influential on attacking our school board members, public education curricula, and the LGBTQ community. So we knew ahead of time that we had to stay really focused on defending public education. We activated our club members to dismantle disinformation, presenting facts, and we were very, very focused on advocating for candidates who were committed to democratic ideals and public education. Now, as far as political influence, we knew that if we wanted to make a change, we had to stay put on communication. So using technology to defend democracy was key. We mobilized through social media. I won't go through the details, but you can see on the list. We also made a point of providing the community with very informative newsletters. Our club vice president, Bill Seeger, who's here today as well, kept us informed of what was happening at city council, council clubs, South Area Caucus and Central Committee meetings, which helped us a lot. And also ongoing actions, alerts to mobilize our members in the community, primarily when it came to school board and city council meetings. Worth noting that we had a very, very productive letter writing team who was ongoingly presenting facts through our local newspapers. In regards to political influence, we were very successful presenting community forums. Our list here of 5 items were very, very impactful. The challenge, again, that we had with the far right groups were disinformation. So because we were able to provide this community forums, we made sure that the community understood what public education was and its importance in our community. Also, the candidate forum for school board members and for city council. Another political influence was protecting education, but not through our party per se. We needed to go grassroots, and that's something that was very challenging because we knew the community was extremely divided, not sure which side to go with because disinformation was coming left, right. So we stayed put on a community campaign, encouraging community members to run for school boards to save democracy, which really helped us tremendously. We also had a very dedicated group that was monitoring school board meetings and also a focused letter writing campaign and teams that were ongoing nonstop, dismantling disinformation. And something that I want to share with everyone and also take note of is the impact of having community networks, friends and their neighbors and families to become part of the change. It really helped us a lot. So as a result of these 6 items, we won 3 out of the 4, which really makes a big difference moving forward because we only have 1 crazy on the school board now. Yes, the far right still has a presence here, but that is now turning the table because we have a better chance to protect our public education. Another political influence, of course, was our Go Team volunteers. We had 20 of them canvassing. They were absolutely key, especially on city council. On the city council race, we won one of the 2 seats. And again, for school board, they were relentless to make sure they would impact the community. On community outreach, action and advocacy, absolutely, we were pushing really hard to stay focused also on the environment. We partner with a local environmental group, Emerald Keepers, who were keeping us informed. Their efforts, primarily we did beach cleanups, but most importantly, we understood that there was a key issue that was impacting us all, and that was ocean pollution. So we had a program with the mayor of Coronado and 2 EPA experts who gave us a better understanding of how bad the issue is right now when it comes to water pollution and where it is we're going, because this is something that is impacting not only Coronado, but the entire coastline. As far as innovating programs, we were intentional about having very passionate people as presenters. If you look at our list of 5 items here, we had passionate activists such as Angel Mawa, Jean Wee. We had our Coronado city manager presenting on telling us what's going on in our community, and board supervisor Tara Lawson-Reamer also had a meet and greet. And this made a huge difference to address problems like homelessness, diversity, inclusion, Black history in Coronado, and LGBTQ challenges here. So again, we did action and advocacy, absolutely. It seems like Coronado doesn't have a problem with homelessness, but the reality is that our club cares past the bridge. So it was an issue that really resonated with everyone to volunteer and help out. We're very fortunate to learn about how music helps our brothers and sisters who are unsheltered right now. Angel did a fabulous presentation on how the BIPOC, for also the LGBTQ community, is impacted by homelessness. And we are pushing hard and pushed hard last year as well to have our club volunteer in downtown San Diego. So as we said earlier, we were intentional about having a connection with the youth. So we have our VP, Bill Seeger, is our former liaison with the Coronado High School Young Dems Club. We were listening to what they had to say last year, and their priorities were gun violence and women's reproductive rights. So we marched with them. We showed them that we have to be fearless and relentless. So there are a few pictures here that depict that, and we are moving forward, making sure that they understand that they are the next generation of Democrats. Continuing on with community impact, we focus also in diversity and inclusion, giving voice to minorities and the LGBTQ communities. As an example, I am happy to say that as a Mexican immigrant, my club gave me the strength to lead this group, and I am so honored and humbled. We are mobilizing, knowing that the far right group right now is anti-LGBTQ. I have made a point to emphasize that minorities matter, and the LGBTQ group is supported. As a matter of fact, one of our club members proudly marched with us in the 4th of July parade with the pan flag. We had a very impactful presentation on the history of the history of Coronado when it comes to its Black community. It was very painful to hear, but it was a way to educate our community on the importance of BIPOC issues. We were so influential politically during the 4th of July parade that we actually were on the newspaper. And if you look at the picture on the right, voting was something that we thought was very important to emphasize during the parade. Likewise, the environment, our love for Mother Earth, and also, like I showed in the picture before.
Barely, we're more than time.
Okay, sorry. Outreach, we've had 7 fabulous community outreach donations across the bridge were our highlights. $1,000, 2 scholarships of $1,000 at Southwestern College were very impactful. We had 8 social events that were very also good to have. And in summary, I just want to
Okay.
let you know that this was a great opportunity. Thank you so much. If you need any information on strategizing, reach out. We have a challenge, but we're in this together. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Marilee. Okay, thank you very much. That was a wonderful presentation. It took a full 10 minutes, so I'm going to be giving that to the other 2 clubs as well. So we're going to extend the time. Okay, great. So with that, we're going to go ahead and do 3 questions. So 3 questions for Marilee. Okay, I see Justin has raised his hand.
Hi, Marilee. So, being a proponent of restorative justice, I know that the Coronado High School had an incident with Orange Glen High School, and the previous president reached out to the Escondido Young Democrats. And I think that it seems like your club has implemented a lot of measures to help influence the next generation of leaders to be kind and empathetic souls. What has that transformation looked like during your tenure as president from the incident until now?
That's a great question. I think what we've seen is the word is empathy. We have, because we've educated the community on the reality that just because you are not directly impacted by a terrible incident like it was like the tortilla incident was it 2 years ago, that does not mean that it's not your responsibility to say, I made a mistake, I apologize, I'm sorry, and implement things so that to make sure that that doesn't happen. Our club has been so mindful of understanding that BIPOC issues matter. And with that, as you saw as part of the presentation, we are emphasizing on issues that matter everyone aside from this community.
Okay, great. Keep the responses to 1 minute, please. Elise, you're next. Elise, you're on mute, but you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask your question. Elise, you're still on mute, but if you want to put it in the chat, you can. Or can someone ask Elise to unmute? Or is there another question while we work on her unmuting? Ask to unmute.
I've asked Elise to unmute.
Okay, good. Okay. We may have to get back to that question. Is there one more question? We will give a total of 3 questions for Marilee. Okay, I don't see any other questions for Marilee. So with that in mind, Elise, when you are able to unmute, we can come back at the end so that you can ask your question. Okay, great. So we need to move on to our next presentation. Thank you so very much. Our next presentation is from the Democrats for Equality. So Democrats for Equality, you are up next. Are you ready to present? And you will have the same amount of time as Coronado, which is to say 10 minutes. No more.
Thank you.
I will cut off at that point.
All right. Oh, you know what? We already have the screen share, so that works. Okay, so
exactly.
let me screen share. Oh man. I don't think my Zoom settings are set for screen sharing.
You are. I just put you on as a co-host.
Let's see, Zoom. Oh, hold on. No, it's my.
There may be a delay today in screen sharing.
No, so it's a Zoom setting. So it's not going to let me share my screen unless I like quit and reopen Zoom.
Okay, so would you like us to have Poway go first while you figure this out? Is that okay?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we give you the most time possible, and the best way to do that may be to put you last. So, okay, so Poway, are you ready to go?
I think so. I'm going to give it a shot here.
Great. Let's make sure that you can share your screen as well. Let me go, Shana, and make you a co-host.
Okay.
So there you go. Okay. Okay, wonderful. You are sharing your screen. 10 minutes on the clock. I will cut off then.
Okay. There we go.
Hey friends, it's Amita Saravala, president of the Poway Democratic Club here. I'm sorry that I can't be there with you live today, but I'm actually on a plane right now. I'm on my way to celebrate my 20th anniversary, and I thought I should prioritize that if I want to continue to see anniversaries in the future. But the story that we want to tell you today about the Poway Democratic Club is one of just perseverance and capacity building and good old-fashioned organizing, and how that has led to some amazing gains and changes here. So the Poway Democratic Club was formed in 2005 by some people who you might recognize, like Pete Babich and Judy Key and a small handful of other Democrats. They were vastly outnumbered at that time, 2-to-1 by Republicans in this deeply red city, but they persevered, they hung on, and they met month after month and slowly chipped away at that Republican advantage. So let's fast forward all the way to 2023. That 2-to-1 Republican advantage that we started out with is now almost down to just 1-to-1. We are within 1,000 voter registrations of being at parity between Democrats and Republicans in Poway. That is amazing compared to where we began. Now, if you take a look at like the beginning of 2017, there was actually still a sizable gap. It's not until a little bit after 2018 that you start to see this big rise in Democratic registrations in Poway. Now, you can attribute some of that to the Trump effect, sure, but he had been in office for a while at that point. We actually believe that there's a direct link to a lot of the work that we put in place right around that time. So what we did was we put in place a multiple touch marketing campaign. We want to reach people wherever they are in Poway, and so that included through our website, making our email newsletters more informative, adding a public Facebook page. We even did this campaign that was called Welcome to Poway Door Hangers, where we had volunteers monitoring housing data, and as soon as there were new residents in a house, they would be there to drop off this door hanger. And then we did some more traditional things, including like postcards and our Poway Fall Festival booths, just wherever we could to reach Poway Democrats wherever they were. And that had an effect on our membership. Obviously, the trend line here on the slide is going to be linear, but if you look at the dots, 2018, 2019, 2020 really took off. So what do we do with those members? Well, in 2022, we had 12 general meetings, which was a variety of endorsements, informational talks by guest speakers. We did postcard parties where we reached 4,000 households. And whether we were in person or via Zoom, we had roughly 40 members and guests in attendance. And when we invite speakers, it's really important to us that they are diverse in background and that they can speak about diverse topics. So, for example, we've had Amy Admire talking about San Diego's tribal communities, Michael Yee talking about anti-Asian racism, Evan Johnson talking about how to be an ally to the LGBTQ community. So all of this energizes our members and motivates them to take action. So if you look at just like our Go team, in 2022, we had 22 volunteers in the last election. We were able to reach 4,002 voters just through the Go team. And that's on top of the 4,000 voters that we reached through volunteers helping with our postcard campaigns. We also had in 2022 a full slate of strong candidates, all who came from the club and stepped up to volunteer to lead in their community. And one of the biggest things we did last year was register as a PAC. So we were able to make independent expenditures to support our candidates. I don't have time to read everything on the slides, but we just went all out to make sure that people in Poway knew exactly who our endorsed candidates are. So I wish I could say that all of our candidates won their races, but they came closer than ever before. In fact, in one district race, we forced Republican Brian Pepin and his GOP-aligned PACs and buddies to spend tens of thousands of dollars just to compete in what is usually just a small dollar district race in Poway. And even then, he only prevailed by 410 votes or so. And we saw the same thing happen in the other district race in Poway. And then, in fact, in PUSD Area C, the candidate that we endorsed there actually won by about 210 votes, helping Democrats regain control of the school board. And so we definitely believe that our assistance helped there. So we're looking forward to sharing our experiences with other clubs. We have some ideas here regarding like our technology and what we came across when we registered as a PAC and how we supported candidates that we want to formulate into presentations and share with you all so we can collaborate and lift each other up. And we're excited about turning Poway blue, and we have the infrastructure and a plan in place to get there. So thank you so much. Again, I'm sorry I can't be there with you live, but we would appreciate your support and your recognition. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jana Johnson, our Vice President and my partner in improving Poway, to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, great. Well done. So because there was a little more time given to the Coronado Democratic Club, I've paused the timer. If Jana or Pete, who is both here from the Poway Democratic Club, I believe, would like to say something further about your club and why you'd like to be considered, you're welcome to say a few words.
Okay, I'll say a few words here. There are some things that we did, and I think for our club, an amazing job of supporting our candidates. I mean, as Amit said, that we had several people within the club that stepped in, and we've had candidates in the past that were good, but this is the first year that we actually got all out as a club and were able to support them and did just such a great job. You heard the Go team went out, they reached out to 4,000 people. We sent out, we had 2 postcard parties and we sent 4,000 postcards out. So we were very organized. We had meet and greets that we held for them, that we organized with other clubs to try and hold for them also. COVID did get in the way on a few of those, unfortunately, but we worked on those things. A little bit more about our club too. I think a lot of you know, this is a little bit about history about Poway. I think that Amit was trying to share here too. It's not just last year, but we are very, very Republican over here still. Our city council is 5 Republicans and all they want to do is build. So we have contractors here all the time. And right now I was at a meeting earlier this week, just trying to keep up with where they're trying to build in Poway all over the place. But we have really worked and we have good diversity on our club. We have members of the Asian American Pacific Islanders, that we have Black, Latino, Middle Eastern, Muslim, and Jewish members. And we're trying to reach out to everybody and have good speakers that everybody's interested in. What else do I want to try and add that he didn't? He covered a lot of good things. We did register as a PAC last year. So that was another thing. We were able to actually get money and we shared that with SDCDP to try and get more information for our candidates out, which that worked well. We had a lot of problem at the beginning with candidates because I don't know if the rest of you saw this or not, but it seems like the bank laws had changed and we had a terrible time at the beginning trying to we didn't help them, but we were conscious of what they were trying to do, getting their bank accounts open and getting the paperwork filed. So we have put together information that next time around, we'll be able to help those candidates just get through that quickly. And then they can get on to the more important business of getting out to the voters and doing that. So I think that's it. Are there any questions that anybody has? Or Pete, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'll take 2 minutes. As a founding president of the Democratic Club in Poway Democratic Club, we were in a bind initially. That front page article that you saw, the lead line of it was when Pete Babbage pulls into his cul-de-sac, he sees red, meaning every one of my neighbors was a Republican. And so that's kind of the environment that we were in. But we definitely have improved. You start chipping away. I got to congratulate Amit and the current board. They've done a phenomenal job. Poway is on the cusp of success. And Poway, I mean, we're almost there. I mean, I could have tasted it this last time around, but it didn't happen. But fundamentally, the Poway Democratic Club has been the face of Democrats in Poway for 18 years. And I think the club absolutely deserves, well, we would like your vote to become the Club of the Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, wonderful. So I see one hand raised from Tasneem. Tasneem, would you like to ask a question? We'll take 3.
Yes, hi. I just would like to ask the Poway Democratic Club because the few members, they live over there in Poway, and I used to live in Poway too. My 4 children went to, Poway High. So I am very much involved in the Poway area, but my club, we just started. So I just like to know, could you please collaborate with us in different event or to development for the club? Can they help us?
Okay, yeah, I'm sure that we can work with you on that. You have several members that are over here, or did you say you live over here still?
Yes, I live over there for 20 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm in Scripps Ranch, but it is very close.
Yes.
So I would like to work together. I attended one of your meetings at, I think Raj's house, and it was really nice to meet all of you.
Right.
So I'd like to, join hands and work together for the betterment for the community.
Okay, I think I remember meeting at one of the meet and greets that we had at Esther's house. So yes, for sure. Well, let's get together offline and we can work together on that.
Thank you
Great.
so much. Thank
Next
you.
question, Greg Robinson.
Hi. I'm on the County Board of Education, and I helped put together a coalition of progressive school board members. And I've talked pretty extensively with Darshana Patel. And we heard from the Coronado Club about how they had worked with their school board and the kind of right-wing attack that they were facing. And I know, if anything, Poway saw even worse attacks on their school board with raucous meetings and right-wing screaming and that kind of stuff. And I wondered, I heard briefly on that presentation about your working with the school board. I'd like to hear a little more. What else have you done to help support those folks on the school board going through a very difficult period of time?
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. We definitely had our own person running, a Democrat here, Frida Brunzel, that was running to represent our area in Poway. And like I said, we worked very closely with her on giving her information about what was going on in Poway. She had been just a resident within the last year or two within Poway. So we worked with her on some of the different efforts that were happening. We also do actually have a pretty close relationship with Darsh and with Michelle O'Connor Radcliffe. And then we also were supporting Heather Plotsky, who was running in the other area over more in Rancho Bernardo. But we held meet and greets, and we worked really hard to get those very successful so that people could hear their messages. And we had the two of them working together also to some degree and trying to share information on how to get their voices heard. And our Go team especially gave out tons of information, and talked to people right there on the streets too. I will say this, you have to understand that in the city of Poway, having 5 Republicans in charge, or maybe a little bit more of our effort was donated to trying to get city council, because we had so many good people that were running, and we were really trying to get one of them on city council this year. And we did succeed with Heather. I mean, like I said, I did try and set up some meet and greets for her also, and COVID got in the way of a little bit of that. But I worked with the Rancho Bernardo Club also to try and work those issues a little bit.
Thank you.
And was there another question?
Yes, thank goodness, my mouse unfroze. Elise, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I have a question for both of the clubs, Coronado and Poway. Since this is Black History Month, I was wondering if the club did anything to recognize or celebrate Black History Month, or if they plan to.
I'd have to say that no, not right now. We're actually reorganizing and starting again for this next year. We go from January to January, and we had a welcome back party that was last month at the end of the month. And so we have not gotten organized. We do have Black members in the club, and I guess that's it. We haven't done anything specifically for Black History Month this.
Okay, Coronado Democratic Club, would you like to answer the same question? Mary Lee or Bill or anyone on the line?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. This is Maria with the Coronado Dem Club. Yes, we did last November. As a matter of fact, we didn't have to want to wait rather for Black History Month to acknowledge our Black community here in town. It's small, but nonetheless, we had a fabulous club member who presented the reality of Black history in Coronado. It was an eye-opening, sad reality that it's so hidden from history books, from our community. And it was so impactful that this month, the public library had the same presenter give out the same presentation effectively at the local library, and it was very, very successful. The Historic Society also took note of that, and they have actually created a book that was born from that very thrilling presentation last year. So yes, again, our commitment to defend BIPOC issues and realities in this community it's one of our emphasis. Thank you for that question.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, with that, we've heard 3 questions for the Poway Democratic Club. So, and thank you for responding as well, Coronado Democratic Club. Next up, we have the Democrats for Equality. Ryan, are you ready to go?
Sure. Let's see if this works. Okay, I can see the slides on my side, which is different from a couple minutes ago. So that's a positive. So let me share the screen. And hopefully, let me know if y'all can see this, and then I'll just go ahead and get started.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Trabucco. During the day, I work for Supervisor Chairwoman Nora Vargas, and off hours, I have the honor of being the club president for San Diego Democrats for Equality. And this is our presentation for Club of the Year. So just to quickly review a little bit about our story. We're an affinity LGBTQ plus Democratic club, and our story begins through activism. 1 year after the first gay pride march in San Diego, our club was founded in 1975, and featured here on this slide is a picture of some of our OG club members from the early 1980s. And points are going to be awarded to anybody on this Zoom who can spot Doug Case in that photo. Here's a little bit about our early history and activism. Everything our club organized for from the very beginning culminated in the historic election of Christine Keough to San Diego City Council District 3 in 1993. And that was 30 years ago this year. And there's a picture of her right there with President Bill Clinton. And if you want to learn more about our club's history, on our website at democratsforequality.org, we have a comprehensive history of our club that's available if anybody's interested in reading it, about our impact in local LGBTQ politics. And it's under the About Us section on the website. So a little bit about our executive board. We have 6 officers: president, vice president for resource development, vice president for political action, our secretary, our controller, and sergeant at arms. And then we have 9 directors on our executive board representing the 5 different areas of our county: North Coastal, North Inland, South, East, and Metro West, and 4 at-large directors. And we've been very successful actually over the last couple of years recruiting and elevating culturally competent voices, especially women and especially LGBTQ plus women of color on our club's executive board. We pride ourselves on diversity, and it is who we are to our core. And you can just see the demographics there of our executive board. We've been successful in elevating our board members into leadership roles within our party. 10 of our executive board members are either CDP or ADEM elected delegates, and that includes every single one of our officers. And just like we mentioned, we're very proud of the diversity of our membership. Even though we're an affinity LGBTQ plus club, we can't successfully advocate for equality, for equity, for civil rights, for abortion rights, or for trans rights without the help of our straight allies. And all of you are welcome to join our club. And we meet on the 3rd Thursday of the month on Zoom. And we're going to try to find out a way to get back to in-person meetings here pretty soon. It's a little difficult being an affinity club because we have club members all over the county. So maybe we're going to try to do some kind of hybrid system. But the important thing for us that we have to figure out in the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, is finding a location. But we're going to do that with our new executive board. You can see there from our membership demographics. We rechartered with 306 members. 59% of our members are LGBTQIA+. 48% of our members are women, female identified. 43% of our members are people of color. We had 270 renewals and 36 new members last year. And just to highlight some of the things that we did last year, we had 12 virtual meetings and 2 special endorsement meetings, 10 regular monthly meetings. We did AIDS Walk San Diego with Assemblymember Chris Ward. We held several GOTV fundraising events for some of our local candidates, including Will Rollins, who was running for a very competitive congressional race in Riverside County, and he almost got it. But next year's a presidential election. I think he's going to run again, and I think he's going to end up beating Ken Calvert because that was like one of those congressional races where it was like 2 to 3 weeks after the election and we still didn't know who was going to pull that out. So I think that seat's going to flip in Riverside next year. Some of the special events, and again, you know, the pandemic affected every single one of our clubs. And towards the end of the year, we started to do a little bit more in-person events. We hosted a fall family festival in La Mesa to help our Democratic candidates that were running out in East County. We hosted a holiday potluck party where we collaborated with AAPI Democratic Club, Claremont Democratic Club, County Young Dems, and the YIMBY Democratic Club. And then, of course, I think one of the biggest events that we did was an event where we co-hosted with AAPI Dems and State Treasurer Fiona Ma. We had a number of candidates that were running all throughout the county come to this event. It was very successful. Treasurer Fiona Ma had a very great time. The next couple of slides here, we're going to show some pictures of this event. And this was at, oh, I forget the name of the place now. Oh, you know what? Let me just go back to the slide. I can tell you right now. It was at Cafe X. You know, I was thinking Border X, but it wasn't Border X. It's Cafe X. And it's off of Imperial Avenue. It's a great facility. If any of the clubs, either located further in South County or any of the affinity clubs want to use that space, highly, highly recommended. So let's go back into looking at some of these pictures. These were the pictures from our event with State Treasurer Fiona Ma and AAPI Dems. We did AIDS Walk, of course, with Assemblymember Chris Ward. There's a picture of our Family Fall Festival that we did in La Mesa. And then, of course, our holiday potluck. And of course, we have Brenda Aguirre, who loves the selfies, and she's got a selfie with Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs, a selfie with Doug Case. And then, of course, all of our Democratic Club presidents that co-hosted that event. We got a picture of newly elected Councilmember Kent Lee, who I think it was like 5 days being an elected official when we took that photo back in December. But it was a very well-attended event. So talking about the club advocacy for last year, abortion rights was a generation-defining issue on the ballot for every single Democratic candidate running for office, for every single Democratic voter that we have in this county and across this country, and for women. And we jumped on endorsing SCA 10 early. We endorsed it before it was even Proposition 1. And that was, of course, authored by our amazing Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins. We co-hosted a phone bank with Planned Parenthood, with Equality California, with HRC. One of our club members published a very verbose critique of Senator Kristen Sinema, and this was back when she was a Democrat, but now she's not a Democrat anymore. We highlighted Primary Sinema Arizona on social media, and of course, Ruben Gallego is now running to be the actual Democratic senator from Arizona. So I think in the next, later this year and probably for sure next year, we're going to be organizing some drives out to Arizona to make sure that we get Kristen Sinema out of the Senate and we elect Ruben Gallego. We did some events with Stop AAPI Hate and elevated those issues. Of course, during the pandemic, individuals in the AAPI community experienced hate, something that they haven't experienced before to the extent that they have. And it was super important to us because, again, as an affinity club, we've got intersectionality between people who are AAPI, people who are LGBT and AAPI. And the fact that they went through that and the fact that they had to experience that, that's something that, some of us who are trans and gay and lesbian and bisexual, it's that hate that we are seeing in our school board meetings, and out in the communities that some of the other clubs talked about earlier in their presentations. And so it's just important for us to be there as allies and elevate those issues, because honestly, love wins, to be quite honest. We elevated the Trevor Project. We helped declare Pride Month in Imperial Beach. We got the Respect for Marriage Act signed by President Biden, enshrining marriage equality into law. Of course, we always have supported the Equality Act, and we just can't get the votes in either the House or the Senate. And then one of the things we did on Labor Day is a lot of our club members went out and walked for the Machinists Union, Local 1484, when they did their strike on Labor Day. And here's a look at our voter guide. One of the things that we have done for decades is publish a voter guide, and this goes out to our club members. It goes out to our LGBTQIA voters that we've identified, and it goes out to high propensity registered Democrats in targeted races. So for example, we had Paloma Aguirre running as an LGBTQ candidate for mayor of Imperial Beach. This voter guide went there. We had other LGBTQ candidates in particularly smaller areas where we sent this out, and it made all the difference. And we're going to explain that here when we start looking at our election victories. And of course, we're a geographic club, so we're supporting candidates all over the county. We got Steve Padilla elected to Senate District 18. And just to highlight that real quick, San Francisco and Los Angeles County have never been able to accomplish what we've been able to do, which was elect 3 LGBTQ state senators. And we're proud to have Steve Padilla, Tony Atkins, and Chris Ward in Sacramento. Of course, Paloma Aguirre was a priority, Karina Contreras in Vista, Ross Pike, they both ran unopposed for their elections. Andrea Beth Damsky in East County, 63 candidates and 75% of those candidates won. That is a record of success. And again, our members make history, and they make history every day. And certainly we can't do this all by ourselves. It takes coalition building and collaborations and creating partnerships with every single club that's here, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. And I just want to thank all of you for the clubs that we did work with this last year and the collaborative efforts. And I am happy to answer any questions. So thank you.
Exactly 10 minutes. Good job. Okay, so who would like to ask a question? I have Justin, his hand is raised.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ryan, my question is, does Dems for Equality organize city council or school board meeting participation, especially given, Awaken Church and the far right, labeling queer people as pedophiles or threats to their children because we want queer books in schools? What has Dems for Equality done to combat the rising hate from the far right in our school boards?
Thank you for that question, Justin. That's really important. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, and as some of the other clubs mentioned, we're seeing that all over the county. In Chula Vista, it's been particularly cruel because, we had to elect an LGBT candidate in Chula Vista last cycle in 2020 because they wanted to cut the library funding because we had Drag Queen Story Hour in Chula Vista. So anytime that comes up, any of our club members that let us know when we need to go to these school board meetings, when we need to go to these city council meetings to advocate for our community and for all of our communities. Let us know whenever we do get notified about that. We do send that out to our membership, and we show up in mass and in force because we know that, if, like you said, the Awakened Church people are out there, but they are vicious. They are vicious people. And if anybody out there is an attorney that wants to look into maybe looking at their IRS statements, feel free, because they started a PAC too, which I think is actually illegal for a church to do. So if anybody wants to look into that, feel free.
Okay, Paula McCormick has her hand up. Paula?
Hi, Ryan. How do you choose the candidates that you endorse, given that you're a countywide program or club? And do they ever conflict with the county choices for Go Team, for example?
Normally what we've tried to do in recent years is endorse as early as possible before the party. One of the things that we don't want to do, and I think it was voted in the party bylaws not too long ago, that once the party makes their endorsement, the clubs, I think at that point, and anybody please correct me if I'm wrong, I think our only options at that point is to endorse the Democratic Party choice, or just to not, endorse against the party. But if the party has not endorsed, one of the things that we do is really take a look at, who do we have who's LGBTQ, who's running in an area. Those are obviously our priority candidates. But if there's a specific targeted race that we know that, hey, this is a Democrat, these communities are supporting that Democrat, these clubs in these communities want that Democrat elected, like in Poway or in Vista or wherever, we take a look at that and we try to get behind them too, because we have a lot of club members that are significant donors. And so when we make an endorsement, that lets our donors know, hey, we're supporting this candidate up there because they're a straight ally, they're great, and we need them on city council. So thank you for that question.
Okay, and last question from Ross Pike.
Thank you.
Hi, Ryan. What's something that the clubs accomplished that you're hoping other clubs will accomplish that we've done this year? What's something that you hope will be seen that isn't done in other clubs as a best practice?
Right. Well, something that I think all 3 of our clubs have hit on, and I think it's super important, and this, to answer your question, Ross, is the takeaway, is collaborating with different clubs. We are all in this together. We're in this fight together. The Republicans are not going to stop. They're going to get more hateful and, they will, as we've seen, they will try to overturn election results because they don't like the fact that they lost. So whether we're an affinity club and whether we're a geographic club, we need to work together. We need a phone bank together. We have to canvas together. We have to make sure we've got people involved in the Go team to the previous question, and getting more people involved in that so that we can canvas every single precinct and every single inch of this county. Because the more that we are able to celebrate those victories together, the more that we're able to celebrate the accomplishments together, that's what brings us together as a party. And we've got a very important election coming up in 2024. So that's how I would respond to that. So thank you, Ross.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, well, thank you to all of our clubs. At this point, I would like to start putting the guests in the waiting room so that we can have a discussion about this. So can the co-host please help me move anyone that has a G, starts with a G, to the waiting room, and then we'll see if there's anyone outstanding. It's a G with a semicolon. All of those should be moved to the waiting room. And then if anyone else is on that does not have a club, a comma club after them. Kathy Hyatt, are you a guest? Is Kathy Hyatt a guest, or is she representing a club? Neither has a G nor is she have a club after it. Anyone know if Kathy Hyatt is here representing a club or is a guest? Kathy, you can unmute yourself. You're on mute. Does anyone know Kathy Hyatt?
Sonara, yes. I can tell you that if Luana was going to get on, I don't know if she made it, but Luana is the representative for the women's club at this time.
Yes. Luana is on the call. Okay. So Kathy would be a guest as well. And we're also going to move the clubs themselves. Are we going to assume that the clubs you are all voting for yourself? And Ryan Trabuco, do you have a vote because your representative here is Michelle Krug?
Well, I'm representing Claremont Dems.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, great. So am I correct in assuming you're voting for Dems for Equality?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair, quick question. Robert Espinosa, that individual's a guest?
Robert Espinosa, I don't know.
That is a guest.
Yes, he's a guest.
The East Lake Vineyard Dem treasurer. Yeah, he's a guest.
All right, cool beans.
Okay.
I think I got everybody.
Okay, sounds good. Do we want to move one of the co-hosts in the waiting room just to, accommodate any needs of people in the waiting room? Anna, would you mind being in the waiting room with them? But first you'd have to vote. So,
I don't know.
Will Seeger from Coronado. Okay, who is going to be voting for Coronado? Because we have a number of people on the line from Coronado. Will, you are generally the vote here. So
I'm the voter for Coronado.
Yes. So no, you don't need to be in the waiting room. You should be here in the main room. Yes. Okay. So Marilee should be in the waiting room because she's not the voter for Coronado. And in fact, again, we need to have all three of them in the waiting room, just, so that we can have an open discussion.
So Nora, you should be in the waiting room too. This is Doug Case.
Oh, Doug Case. Thank you, Doug. Thank you. If someone can put Doug in the waiting room. Okay. If he wasn't renamed. Okay, great. Okay. Whew, with that in mind, I think we can begin our discussion. Anyone see any duplicates or anyone?
Someone please, sorry, Sonara, this is Marely. Can someone please put me on the waiting room? I'm not a voting member.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, and this is Jana. If you're putting the clubs out, you should put me in the waiting room also.
Yes.
Thanks.
So Jana, wait, before Jana and Marilee, I'm assuming you're both voting for your own club?
Yes.
I'm not voting. It's my.
Oh, that's correct. That's correct. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah. Bill doesn't go in the waiting room because he didn't present. Jana, well, I'm going to defer to people. Should other people representing the clubs also be sent to the waiting room if they're because Bill is a voting member. And what about others? Okay, yes. So
Madam Chair,
Yes.
You're going to have to take away the co-host privileges for the clubs because otherwise I can't place them in the waiting room.
Oh, that's been the problem. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's do that.
Madam Chair,
Uh,
there's precedence on the waiting room, waiting to log in.
I will admit them. Kate Bishop is being admitted. And Kate Bishop is now in the meeting, I believe.
Okay, Marilee Ramirez, I'm going to remove co-host permissions, and Jana Johnson, I'm going to remove co-host permissions, and Ryan Tribuco, I'm going to remove co-host permissions. Now, again, I believe Bill Seeger should go in the waiting room as well. He's also here from Coronado. Bill, I assume your vote is for Coronado. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. Anyone else here from those clubs? Okay, Jana should be placed in the waiting room. Anyone else here on behalf of those 3 clubs? Yes, Justin?
Madam Chair, I would make a suggestion. I think
sure.
it would be in order to have the voting members of clubs, as long as they're not presenters, be in the meeting and treat them the same way Central Committee might treat an alternate when their Central Committee member is for an endorsement or is being voted on in a similar mindset.
Okay, and so that would only impact Bill Seeger, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, was everyone comfortable with having Bill here for the discussion? Is there any objections to that?
No.
Okay, it'll make it simpler, so Bill can come back in. Someone like to readmit Bill.
I think I was just going to let you know that Indro just mentioned that is in the room. I'm not sure, but Ruby was going to be the representative for Education Association. So Kate would be a guest at this point if Ruby is on as a voting member.
Ruby had to log off, so I jumped on even though I'm in the middle of shit.
Okay, okay, so Kate
Well,
is here.
thank
Let's
you,
rename her, and Education Alliance. Okay,
that's
great.
a good.
Okay, good. I think we are then ready to go. And of course, my wheel is now spinning. At this point, Club Development, are we ready to hold this first round of, oh, well, no, first we need to have discussion.
Madam
So
Chair,
yes.
there's one more member I'm not sure about, a participant, Deborah Cunningham Skurnick.
Oh, Deborah Cunningham Skurnick, are you representing a club or are you a guest?
Hi, I'm a guest. I'm the regional director.
Oh, wonderful. Well, welcome. Do you mind being in the waiting room?
No problem.
As we do our vote. Thank you. Okay. Danny, you had a comment, thought?
If we're into discussion, I'd like to speak in favor of a club.
Okay, well, let's make sure we're in discussion. Any other, any other feedback about who's in the room and who isn't, as far as we have, any double representation? I don't believe so. Anybody here who is not a voting member besides myself?
Shannara.
Yes.
I'm a member of the Dems for Equality Club, but I'm not representing them.
That's fine.
Anything.
That's
Okay.
fine. You're welcome. You're welcome to be here. Now, for the sake of voting, I can remove people's co-host permissions who are our co-host for the sake of this vote, so you can participate in the Zoom call. Is that appropriate?
Madam Chair, don't remove my Zoom or my
Okay.
co-host privileges just in case I need to spell you, but yeah,
That's
should
true.
work. Yeah, just be on the safe side.
I've had enough problems with technology today. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.
No problem.
So Kira, I'm going to go ahead and remove yours as well. I've removed everyone's co-host permissions, I believe, but Dr. Banerjee and myself. Okay, great. With that in mind, this should be a hopefully not too complicated vote. So discussion. We'll have 2 speakers in favor of any club, and because this is a long meeting already, and you can have 2 minutes per speaker. So we have 4 people raising their hand. Is everyone okay with that format? Okay, no one against, 2 speakers in favor. Okay, so the first person to have their hands up that I was aware of was Danny Avita. So Danny, I will let you go first. You have 2 minutes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys again and nice seeing everyone. I know it's been a while since we've been meeting, but I wanted to rise to speak in favor of the Coronado Democratic Club. Ms. Ramirez has been inspirational in the way she has been organizing her club. Not only has she been on the ground organizing, but she has been in other communities surrounding Coronado, really helping other clubs like the Downtown Democratic Club, helping to organize rallies, and really pushing forth true democratic principles of inclusivity and really just helping out one another, having that understanding for and compassion for a lot of residents. On top of that, she's been instrumental in educating the voting public. The campaigns that they have done in support of candidates has been really instrumental in electing some of those candidates. On top of that, really getting the membership involved. So I really rise to ask everyone today to vote for the Coronado Democratic Club for their incredible work throughout this last year. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was 1 minute and 18 seconds. Let's keep it to that because we have a lot to get through this meeting. Ryan Darcy, you're up next.
Thank you. I'd like to speak in favor of supporting San Diego Democrats for Equality. I think that, one common theme all three clubs has touched on in their presentations was the influx of anti-LGBTQ hate, especially against our transgender and non-binary communities. And I think what better way as a party to send a strong message, not only to the rest of our party, but to the rest of the entire county, when we have seen this influx of hate, than to uplift the only LGBTQ Democratic Affinity Club in our county, which is Democrats for Equality. Not to mention just the incredible work that club and their members have done, uplifting candidates, a 75% win record of their endorsed candidates, calls to action throughout the year, supporting our communities. Also, a club that works in tandem with other clubs throughout the county as well. So I just think it sends a strong and powerful message to our party and to the county of San Diego, especially in a time where we've seen these school board meetings, we've seen these city council meetings attack the LGBTQ community time after time. And I just think that it sends a great message for our party to uplift the San Diego Democrats for Equality. Thank you.
Oh, I said, sorry about that. Thank you. Next speaker, Greg Robinson.
Yeah, I would follow the second speaker also in favor of the Dems for Equality. And I speak as somebody very active around educational issues. Dems for Equality has been absolutely essential in helping us elect progressives to school board meetings. We know in this last round of elections how essential that has been, given the kind of right-wing hysteria and the campaign of nonsense that has gone around CRT, et cetera. But the Dems for Equality were not there not merely in this round of elections, but previously as well. Over and over again, they have been there for progressives in the area of education. That I think is something really outstanding about the club, their willingness to participate in areas not necessarily directly related to their own interests. They recognize the importance of equality and areas outside. And also the one thing I was also impressed with their presentation, that last little point that probably most of you missed was that issue about showing up in solidarity for a machinist strike. I know what's going on with the machinist strike, and they are desperate. They're hammered to the wall by a very wealthy, connected individual who owns a number of dealerships in the area, and they are very, very scared and very desperate to hang on. And Dems for Equality showed up for that as well. That's really outstanding solidarity and something we need in a club. And I think it's so important for us to recognize what they have done in so many different areas. So strong support for Dems for Equality.
Okay, that's 2 for Dems for Equality. So next speaker has to be for, if you're speaking on Dems for Equality, at this point, we've had our speakers. So someone speaking not for Dems for Equality, the next person up I have on my list is Nadia. Are you speaking for a club other than Dems for Equality?
Yes.
Okay, yes, please start.
So I'm advocating for the Coronado Democratic Club. Full disclosure, I'm from South Bay, so of course we stick together, and I'm looking at you. But I just want to reinforce to all of you that last year, the Coronado Dems were very hard to beat. The API club came in strong, but they were very hard to beat. And the reason is because they are in a predominantly red community and they have been able to gather 200 members. That is super impressive for a regional club. And not only that, when they say that they advocate for issues, they really do. When the mayor of Coronado and the city decided to cancel the LGBTQ prom for the county of San Diego LGBTQ youth, they showed up to that city hall meeting and stood up to their own neighbors and said, no, we want this because our kids are LGBTQ too. And we want to make sure that they feel safe within our communities. I've been able to sit down with them. They're going to allow me to speak before them about our groups. They were instrumental in starting the first GSA club at Coronado High School and being able to promote them. They don't just advocate in their community, they are part of the community, they grow it. And if Coronado turns blue, it will be because of people like Mayor Lee.
Thank you. Okay, so we've now had 2 speakers for Coronado, 2 speakers for Dems for Equality. Do we have any speakers for Poway?
Madam Chair, there's a minor technical issue with Justin Domocio. I'm just going to readmit him. I believe Justin.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think he is already readmitted. Am I incorrect? I believe he's readmitted. Okay. Does anyone like to speak on behalf of Poway Democratic Club? Do we have any speakers? Okay. Going once, going twice.
Sonara.
Yes.
Sonara.
Yes.
Would it not be fair to allow one of the, if it just feels like all of their guests happen to have had a designation as guest, and it feels like they should be able to, somebody should be able to speak on their behalf.
Well, we already had three of them speak on their behalf, and you know, I'm a big supporter of the Poway Democratic Club, but it's 11:30, so we need to really get moving here.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I am going to go ahead and call for the vote. That we have a Zoom poll for the vote, if that's acceptable to the membership. So Club of the Year, round 1, I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. Okay, everybody who would like to vote, you can do so now.
Madam Chair, can I send you my,
Yes, you
Madam
can.
Chair, there's a couple, okay.
What's going on?
There's a couple of votes who, a couple of people, do you want me to help count the vote?
Yes, I do. But Ruby isn't going to matter because Kate is now in the room.
Understood.
Okay, and then we have the votes for the club representatives themselves, which is, we have one additional vote for each club.
Correct. And Claremont Dems is also voting for D3, so we have to count that.
No, but it's not, it's just one additional vote because Michelle is in the room for Dems for Equality.
Oh, correct. Sorry.
So each one is just going to have an additional
vote. What? Okay. If someone's having trouble with the poll, private message me.
Sonara, you were supposed to read out the order?
Ah, that is correct. Poway is first, Coronado is second, and Dems for Equality is third. Okay, I have a question of whether or not committee members can vote. 1 vote per club. I believe that that is the case, that it's only clubs. Let's double check these bylaws here.
It is only clubs.
Yeah. Hey, Sonara, this is John. Yeah, I can confirm it's just 1 vote per club.
Thank you. Thank you. Very appreciated. Okay. We have 34 of 40 participating. I have a vote in the chat from Brenda and from Sherry Sachs. Okay. Oh, I think I've got it. Okay.
Sonara, I'm going to text you my vote.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't see your text yet. So.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay. So is anyone unable to vote besides Sherry Sachs? Anyone in the room? Anyone having a problem?
Is Dr. Richmond or Kathy voting for Democratic
The one-
Alliance? Okay,
I voted.
okay, sounds good. I just got your text. And Madam Chair, did you get my vote?
I did get your vote.
Let's
Now,
go.
Dr. Luana voted through the poll, I believe. So who do we have that has not voted through the poll is Sherry Sachs at this point. Is there any other votes besides the 3 for the clubs in the waiting room that have not voted through the poll? Because we still have 34 out of 40 voting. So we've got 42 joined. So some people have not voted.
So with Indra's vote, you have, is API.
Okay. Okay, now we have 36 out of 40 voted. Well, we have joined 42, so.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, this is Sherry Sachs. Did that poll come through on the chat? Is because I didn't get it on the chat.
How does the poll come through? I think it just appears on your screen. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. The
That's
poll appears
correct.
on your screen. If you're on your phone, you may have to swipe right or swipe left.
Oh, okay, thank you. But anyways, you
There you
got my
go.
vote, so thank you.
Yes, we have your vote. Let us know if you vote through another means.
I will not.
Okay. Okay, so we have 36 out of 40, 90% are participating. We still have some people not participating. Does anyone need more time to vote? Anyone need more time to vote? Okay, seeing no more time needed, I can go ahead and end this poll. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. So end poll, and should I share the results of the poll? And
Yes.
then, okay, so we are sharing the results of the poll at this time.
Madam Chair,
everyone-
do you want to add in the voice votes too, or?
Yes,
do you want
and
to
then,
confirm? Okay.
well, adding in the voice votes, we're going to have 2 more for Dems for Equality, 1 more for Coronado, and 1 for Poway.
Okay.
No, sorry, 3 more for Dems for Equality, 2 more for Coronado, and 1 for Poway.
So, okay.
2.
So the voice votes align with the poll votes.
Right.
So total 42 votes?
That appears correct.
Okay.
Can you read the numbers on the percentages?
Okay, so we have, including the voice votes, we have 2 for Poway, we have 16 for Coronado Democratic Club, and we have 23 for Dems for Equality. Okay, so with that in mind, I had said this was going to be elimination round. We're going to eliminate Dems for Equality, that's sorry, Poway Democratic Club, and we're going to do a second poll. So I'm going to duplicate this poll, rename it, edit.
What percentage is needed that you're doing that? Isn't it, if it's over 50%?
That's true. That's over 50%. Even if the other 2 were reallocated, we are left with over 50%. So is it appropriate at this point to call the results?
I believe so, Madam Chair.
Okay, great. So, okay, so let's let everyone else back in, admit all. Okay, so we have finished our poll, and the winner is Democrats for Equality. Congratulations on being named Club of the Year.
Excellent. Thank you, Sonara. I also wanted to, and of course, thank you to all the clubs that voted for us. I know that there's been discussion in the past of possibly separating out the award from affinity and geographic club. So if it's appropriate, I would actually make a motion to name Coronado as Geographic Club of the Year.
I would second that. to make two separate awards.
Well, I think we have to schedule a vote for such a thing because it would be a change to our bylaws. So I appreciate the suggestion. I think it's a good one, but it's not something we can do at this time. So let's maybe consider it for the next meeting.
And can I suggest that we can at least take a vote as to whether people want to make two separate awards, which would be a geographic and an affinity club? I think that would.
I just don't think our bylaws allow for that. John, can you speak to this point? I appreciate the suggestion, but I don't think our bylaws allow for it. I'll take a look at the bylaws right now, but.
Yeah,
Go ahead, John.
I think you're right. You're right. So no, sorry, this is just to say, I think you're right on the bylaws, then we would have to bring that to the party to change the rules. So, but we would have the majority of clubs, if they agreed, urging or. I think that's your point, all right, about to support Ryan's original suggestion.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think we have the ability to do so. If someone wants to look that up, I'm happy to, but it's not something that I believe that we have the ability to do.
Point of order, Madam.
I'm going to.
Excuse me. Sorry, everyone. Madam Chair, point of order.
Yeah.
So I would like to suggest, I believe that former Director Laughlin is correct and you are as well. However, we can vote on a resolution to send this to the executive board of the party because I believe it's the executive board that awards clubs and volunteers and other things. It's recognition by the executive board and the central committee. So if it would be in order, I would make a friendly amendment to the original motion to send this to the executive board for them to deliberate on. Would that be appropriate?
I'm not sure. I see Cody Vieira has her hand up, and Cody, as past president of this body, may have some insight.
Well, actually, what I was going to just remind folks that we have 3 types of clubs, the third one being academic. So if we do make that change, I would want to make sure we don't leave them out.
Thank you.
But on this note, we have had clubs split the award in the past. I believe Dems for Equality did that with Progressive Dems a few years ago. But yeah, I think this would be a bylaws change. The executive board doesn't vote to approve Club of the Year, as far as I recall. I think they just go with what Council of Clubs votes on.
Yeah, my understanding is there is no ratification at the executive board. I'm looking up right now, and yeah.
Yeah, so this is John again. Yeah, Cody, you're exactly right. Yeah, they just go with the vote from this meeting. That's what the rules say. It's the council that picks the winner.
Right.
So
but I think
And
to
because
Justin's point,
is not prohibited, I
Right.
don't see a reason that this body can't take. I don't see a reason that this body cannot take that vote and pass it on. And what they do with it, they do with it. But that would be coming from this body, that we see the validity of, separating those types of clubs.
And also, since I made the initial motion, if it helps anything, I would actually accept Justin's amended motion if that is applicable or helps.
It doesn't, because it's not the executive board.
Well, I still support Justin's amended motion anyway.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay, what is this that we have a resolution that can we restate the motion?
Can I do it, Ryan?
Sure, I was going to defer to Justin since he made the amended motion, but
I would like to move that we award the Club of the Year to have club is the affinity clubs, among the affinity clubs, the geographic clubs, and the academic clubs. That we have a Club of the Year drawn or elected from those three different types of clubs.
Okay, I don't believe that our bylaws allow for that. John, you had your hand up. I'm not saying that I wouldn't appreciate it and wouldn't like it. I just don't think it's something we can do today. John, you have your hand up?
Yeah, thank you, Sonara. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I think the rules as they're written, define what you can do today. But I think if you want to change them going forward, it's an admin committee, suggestion to change them in the policies and the rules. And the council could vote on that today, but it wouldn't take effect for this cycle.
Well,
because the rules are already set, and we've
noticed
already followed the vote. Yeah, exactly.
And we haven't done any notice of this vote, any prior notice of this vote. So again, not that I don't appreciate it. I'm a huge supporter of all three clubs that have gone forward. I just don't think we have the capacity to do this. Dr. Indranil?
Yeah, just point of information. So because a lot of it's going back and forth pretty quick here, but is it correct to say that we are voting that it's suggesting right now, or it's suggested right now to vote on a non-binding resolution to the e-board or whatever governing body handles this from the Council of Clubs to suggest this, and then the e-board can take it up, and then we can move on to the another round at the next Council of Clubs. Am I reading that correctly, or am I off my rocker?
I'm also confused on the point. So
okay, oh, the admin committee, excuse me. So we could do a non-binding resolution right now in terms of this suggestion, and that can go up the chain. Is that correct? I'm probably using horrible nomenclature here, but someone please correct me.
That's correct, Andrew. I think that's what you're saying.
Okay, cool. Okay, that works. Cool. So, Madam Chair, then I would move that if the motion is on the floor, can we vote on the non-binding resolution right now? Or
sure, we can vote on a non-binding resolution to say, and this is, again, we need to state clearly what this is, that
we would like to see the Council of Clubs vote on a Club of the Year for the affinity clubs, for the geographic clubs, and for the academic clubs.
Okay, as far as for this year, I know that we're already a month late in our vote for Club of the Year. We have Andrea Duran on the line here. I know there's some logistics around voting later for something. So, if that is the resolution, I'm fine with us voting on this resolution.
I second the resolution.
Okay, great. So we'll just do this via voice vote. All those in favor, well, any discussion on the resolution?
Sorry, Madam Chair.
Can we clarify the resolution?
Sorry, Georgine?
Could you repeat the resolution?
Okay, Kara, Secretary, can you repeat the resolution?
Yes, the resolution would be to say, we would like to see the Council of Clubs vote on the Club of the Year for affinity clubs, geographic clubs, and academic clubs.
Separately.
Yeah.
Separately.
Okay, Chi Wu, you have your hand raised?
Just a second. My understanding that was in the resolution. Not, I mean, Justin had an amendment different from the what resolution. So I thought we were voting on Justin's amendment.
I thought this was Justin's amendment. Is this not Justin's amendment?
No.
That is not Justin's amendment. Justin amendment. Can Justin repeat what you said about recommend exec board? to make a change?
Yes, but my amendment, I think, got amended, and I accept that amendment, which was that it was to send this to the e-board with our Club of the Year nominees, separated by two things, which was the affinity and geographic. But as former Director Vieira pointed out, there's also academic clubs as well. And so I think that got amended. And so if it's to the chair's discretion, I would accept that amendment so we can move forward with the vote and the meeting.
Okay, so you're comfortable with the resolution as it stands, Justin, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So Michelle,
Yes. Oh,
you have a point of order? Or
I'm
thought?
sorry. No, I just had raised my hand to do the resolution in the first place.
Okay, great. So does anyone else have any further discussion on this resolution?
Madam Chair, I have a question about who seconded the resolution.
Whoever seconded it, can you please speak up?
The original was Ryan and then seconded by Michelle and then Justin amended. And then I didn't catch, I don't know if Cody amended that again, but.
Yeah, someone seconded his amendment, the final resolution. I don't know who that was, but if anyone else would like to do it, that's fine.
I did. I'm sorry. It took me a while to get the mute off.
Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne.
Suzanne Hanson from East County Democratic Club.
Okay, great. Okay, Kate, your hand is up.
Hi, just as a point of information, there are 2 academic clubs total that are chartered through the party. So maybe we roll them in with one of the other categories. Just a thought.
I agree with that. They should go with the geographics because they are geographic.
No, they're not geographic.
No, they're not.
You have UCSD that has all people from all over the place. You have, I'm not sure what the other ones are. Maybe Cody could speak to that because I know there are high school clubs as well, but I don't know.
Yes, but they're not currently chartered with us. We currently only have 2 academics chartered with us, the UCSD Dems and I believe possibly San Diego State. Cody, you have been working with those clubs. Can you clarify?
I'm not sure other than UCSD, but I was going to say what Michelle said, that UCSD Dems historically has people registered throughout the county. So I would think affinity is more appropriate.
Okay. This meeting is running very long, so I am going to hear Danny's call and then we are going to call for a vote on this non-binding resolution. Danny?
I just wanted to add that we don't currently have a SDSU Dem charter.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, with that in mind, I'm calling the vote. All those in favor, this is going to be a voice vote. Say aye.
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 Okay, all those opposed? Hearing no opposition, please speak up if you oppose. Hearing no opposition, we are moving on to the next item of our agenda. Thank you, everyone. And again, we had 3 wonderful clubs running, and I appreciate you all. Okay, whether or not you've won tonight, I mean, it's this morning, it's been that long. You know, we have 3 great clubs that were in contention, and I would have been happy to vote for all of you. So thank you for presenting. We're going to continue doing presentations of clubs throughout the year so that clubs can get to know their fellow clubs at these Council of Clubs meetings. Okay, on to the next point of the agenda, which is the members at large. So that is our next slide. Indranil, if you don't mind advancing the slides. I have 3 participants with raised hands, Cody, Danny, and Justin. Does anyone still have a point of order that they'd like raised? Okay, seeing none, we're on to the next item of the agenda. Next item of the agenda, please. If you could advance the slide, please, Indranil. Okay, next item of the agenda is when we are going to hold our meetings going forward. This is a very important item. Again, we are going to have, you know, only voting members can vote, but I'm going to leave everyone in here for the discussion because I don't mind you being here for discussion. These are the options in front of us. We have the 3rd Saturday of the month. We have the 1st Sunday of the month. We have the 2nd Sunday of the month, and we have the 2nd Monday of the month. Those are the times on the calendar where we found the least conflicts. And if you wouldn't mind, Indranil, sharing the sddemocrats.org/calendar in order to show this, we can show those times. As he does this, is there any discussion on these times? Is anyone going to, have a particular preference for a time? We're going to do this as a as an elimination round voting. So, whatever one is most appealing to everyone after the elimination rounds is what we're going to select. But you are welcome to have discussion. So I see 2 hands raised. Cody, you can go first. I believe you had
Well,
your hand raised first.
I was going to suggest that it may be better to do a doodle poll or something so that clubs who weren't able to make it today could vote.
I thought about that. That can get quite complicated, and we've given people plenty of notice. So these are all times when there are either no club meetings, except the case of the second Monday, and the one club that does meet at that time has been kind enough to say, we'll work with you. So I appreciate that. We've been noticed about this, so we're going to do the vote based on who does show up. Okay, Kate, your questions or comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to note that the second Sunday of the month is Labor Dems, and although they're pretty tight to 2 to 4 generally, when endorsement season comes around, they might go over, and I would not want them to be excluded from this body.
Absolutely. That's why it's 5 p.m. on that Tuesday. That's why the proposal is 5 p.m. instead of 4, on that Sunday, is to allow for Labor Dems to have their full meeting. Okay. So next comment, we have Michelle Krug. Sorry, you're up next, Michelle.
Just clarifying, since I can't see it, the time that you offered, just go through them again. The time right now on the.
Why does this say 4 p.m.? This is supposed to say 5 p.m. For some reason, it got changed in the presentation to 4 p.m. So thank you, Kate. It actually was 5 p.m. the second Sunday to accommodate Labor Dems. So once again, the times are the current time, which is the 3rd Saturday of the month at 10 a.m., the 1st Sunday of the month at 4 p.m., the 2nd Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. And it was 5 p.m. in the notice. I don't know how it got changed to 4. I had noticed 5 p.m. And the 2nd Monday of the month at 6 p.m.
And
now the second.
The Sunday one is which Sunday? The first Sunday?
Yes, the 1st Sunday of the month and the 2nd Sunday of the month. So the 1st Sunday of the month would be at 4 p.m. and the 2nd Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. for the reason that Kate cited, which is Labor Dems is at 2. And yeah.
Okay.
So Doug, you have your hand up?
Yeah, the first Sunday of the month at 4 p.m. is the time that the admin committee normally meets.
Is that the case on the calendar today? I thought we had done a good job of not doing
Yes,
it.
it is. Looking
Yeah,
at
they had just canceled.
Yeah, they canceled in February, but if you look at March, you'll see the first Sunday at 4 p.m. is the, and they may be voting on a time change too, but currently they've been meeting the first Sunday at 4 p.m., which would be a direct conflict.
Gotcha. Okay, yes. I did only take into account conflicting club meetings because it was very hard to do other things, but I did also take into account, obviously, the Central Committee, regional caucuses and caucus. I did not do the committees beyond that because it got complicated, but yes, that is a fair point about the first Sunday of the month at 4 p.m. Okay, Suzanne Hanson, you're on mute.
Yes, I'm unmuted. I wanted to find out, why are we changing from 3rd Saturday of the month?
We're not necessarily. This question hasn't been raised in a few years, and this time may no longer be the most convenient for everyone in the group. So if this continues to be the most convenient, that is the first of our options. So if people continue to appreciate this time, it can be this time moving forward. But after so many years and a new cycle, it was time to re-examine this. So Ross?
That was just my question, is if there was a large request for it, because I see a lot of conflicts with the other proposed. And I mean, when I ran for president of Fallbrook, I knew that this was the time for the Council of Clubs. So I just was going to ask if there was a large amount of requests asking to change it.
Yes, there has generally been a number of requests to change it. And quite frankly, it was also not a time that's terribly convenient for me, a Saturday at 10 a.m. So it is something I had said when I was running that I was going to examine. So there aren't compared to any other times, these do not have a lot of conflicts. The first Sunday, as we pointed out, at 4 p.m. is the same as admin. The second Sunday at 5 p.m. is 3 hours after the Labor Dem meeting. And the second Sunday of the month is the same time as the Progressive Dems, but they have said that they will accommodate if we were to choose that time. We reached out to them in advance. So Cody, you have your hand up. Is that from before, or are you speaking to a new point?
That was from before.
Okay, Greg Robinson.
Yeah, I was originally going to raise the issue about Labor Dance, but I'll tell you, that time on Sunday, I already get complaints from members of my club about meeting on Sunday at all. So I mean, it's always going to be a problem, frankly.
Always, yeah.
We're never going to find a perfect solution for everybody. Somebody's going to complain.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind. But Sunday is also not a great choice. So
agreed, absolutely. It's been 3 years, so it was time to revisit this. So Kate, you have a question or thought?
Yeah, I just was looking for clarification on what you mean by the Progressive Dems will accommodate.
Well, if we were to choose this time, they were open to changing their time. They have only had one meeting at that time so far. So I reached out to them, and their president, Kevin Lorenz, said, hey, you know, if you choose to do it at that time, we can reaccommodate our club meeting time. So Michelle?
I just wanted to speak for keeping it as it is. I think it fits in. Most people have made their work around that, around the Saturday at 10 a.m. and the fact that the other North County areas are on that same day. It's kind of like people feel, I've heard this many times, we can just do it on that Saturday and have it all over with. So I'm just speaking for keeping as it is on the third Saturday at 10 a.m.
Okay, Barbara, you had your hand up, but then you lowered
I thought it would be too.
Barbara, you had your hand up. Did you wish to speak? Okay. So with that in mind, I don't see any further comments. Anyone else who'd like to comment on this is welcome to unmute and do so. If not, we're going to go to a poll. So I will be launching this poll, but first we need to have only the voting members again, because you are the people that are affected by this. So once again, we need to put anyone in the waiting room at this point who is a guest or a member of a club who is not voting. So if we could please move everyone in the waiting room who has a G in front of their name, that would be appreciated.
Question, Doug Case is not a voting member?
Not a voting member, that is correct.
You reinstate the co-host capabilities?
No, I have not. So at this point, it's just myself and Indra Neal, who's a co-host, and I don't think Indra Neal's going to mind saying this one out loud. This should not be this should not be a controversial vote, I would hope. Please, no one.
I was just looking at if you needed help moving people. That's all.
Oh, thank you. No, Rob, I just, the reason is if you're a co-host, then you can't participate in the poll. So I guess I am just having Indra Neal do it. That would make sense to have you help as well, but.
I didn't know
yeah.
I participated in the poll anyway.
Oh, you're right, you can't. So perfect. You are a co-host. Thank you for helping.
Frank King, are you a voting member?
He is a guest.
Okay.
Just an FYI, there's nothing that says the committee members can't participate in when this committee is.
That is correct.
Time.
We will be having a separate discussion for our committee, but we needed to have a discussion first for this, the general body. Okay, do we have everyone who is a guest in the waiting room? Do we have any duplicates here?
I think I got everybody, but if you're a
think you did
non-voting
too.
member, please raise your hand or say something. Say something.
I think we're
This
good
is
to go.
Diana. I'm non-voting.
Okay, thank you. And Deborah Cunningham Skurnick is also okay. With that in mind, do we have anyone here as a non-voting member? Okay, so I'm going to launch this poll. New meeting time for Council of Clubs. Please respond with the time that you prefer. And it's elimination round, and we're going to pick the one that you know, that the majority of people prefer. If on the first round we get over 50% for one, that's what it's going to be.
You haven't said it out loud.
I have not said it out loud. So the first Sunday of the month is first, followed by the second Sunday of the month, followed by the second Monday of the month, followed by the current time, which is the third Saturday of the month.
Whoa. Something happened with the poll.
Okay, we have 31 of 35 participating. Okay, so we have 32 out of 35 participating. Would anyone else like to participate? Is anyone having trouble participating? Okay, well, at that point, then I'm going to call the question because we have 73% saying that they wish to stay at the current time. So regardless of what other people were to vote, it looks like the current time stays. So thank you all for participating. We are on to our next order of business. We're going to end this poll and show the results, and then we can let everyone else back in the room. We are going to stay with the third Saturday of the month. Our next order of business is going to be the vote for the at-large members of the Club Development Committee. So you may self-nominate or someone else may nominate you. Okay, Justin, your hand is raised.
Yes, I would like to self-nominate myself for one of the at-large seats.
Okay, so I'm not.
I want to nominate myself.
Okay. Okay, well, we're gonna let's do this as seat 1 and then seat 2 because that's going to be easier to do. So we'll start with seat 1 and you can both nominate yourself. And if someone doesn't get it, you're welcome to run for seat 2 as well. So Rob Howard, I see a hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to nominate Deanna Geary.
Deanna Geary, okay. So we have Justin, Tasmin, and Deanna. Okay. Would anyone else like to nominate or self-nominate?
Michelle's hand is raised.
Michelle, your hand is raised.
I was going to nominate someone who wasn't able to make it here, but I think maybe it was Allison Snow. She's distributing food right now in Lemon Grove. She can make it for the other meeting. So, but I'll leave it as it is, only because I think we have good candidates.
Okay, great. Okay, do we have any further candidates? Okay, with that in mind, we're going to give the candidates a moment to speak. Okay, so Tasneem, you're welcome to go first. I'm going to give you 2 minutes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tasneem Remani. I'm an immigrant, American over here. And I have a degree in science. I'm a businesswoman and entrepreneur. I'm a community volunteer since 1991 in San Diego. I organize, fundraising events for different causes like unprivileged children, Palomar hospitals since 2008, and also for, Democratic Party's leaders when they ask for fundraising. I organize the events for them too in San Diego. And I was on the board of Muslim Community Center, and whenever Democratic people, they want to come and run for elections and they come and I always help. And I started a youth group from there, and we used to have programs for refugee centers over here in San Diego, like school backpacks and their food and some, different kind of classes or entertainment for them. So I'm pretty much involved in the community. Mainly I involved with, with women and children. And I was on the board of Muslim Women Empowerment Council of California for 3 years. And I helped in women issues, many women issues, Muslim and including others too. And I actually organized the events for interfaiths. My goal is to bring the community together in different culture, different religions, and I have all connections with synagogue, mosques, churches, temples, and all are my, they are my friends. So this group is really good with me to help, like pandemic, we provide actually 5,000 heart meals every. So for seniors. So this kind of stuff we do. And I actually, my goal basically to bring the community together and work for this club for membership. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next nominee is Justin Domicilio. I hope I see your name right, Justin, your last name. My apologies if I got that wrong. You have 2 minutes.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Justin Domicilio. I'm the senator for the SDCDP Young Democrats and the vice president for the AAPI Dems. I'm running for the seat because I previously sat on the club development committee. I took a break to recuperate. The last few cycles were particularly hard for me. As many of you know, I am leading a queer book drive to get LGBT literature into schools. It's called One Book at a Time. And in doing so, I've seen a massive amount of hate and coordinated attacks on our elected school board members and their seats. And it has become deeply concerning. So my goal as a club development at-large seat is to help develop the diversity, equity, inclusion, language, and strategies for all of the clubs, geographic, affinity, and academic, so we can engage and support our school board members, especially going into a presidential election. The hate that transgender, queer, and AAPI and BIPOC members are facing in their public school boards and in their city councils is near unprecedented, and it's only getting worse. So I believe that it is the duty of the club development committee to help clubs fortify their messaging, coordinate their strategies, and engage members of their community in ways that make sense in order to mobilize coming into the next election. So I'm more than happy to help run communications, deal with strategies, and do outreach and coordination to really succeed in driving home a cohesive, equitable, and inclusive messaging that will engage disenfranchised people while also protecting our already elected and stellar school board members. It's very important that we show up and that we show up consistently. So that's what I'm running to do. Thank you.
You had a few more seconds, actually. But okay, on to the next one is Diana Aguirre. Do you accept the nomination? And if so, are you ready to speak?
I do accept the nomination. Thank you. My name is Diana Aguirre, and I became involved with the county party as a co-founder and president of the Torrey Pines Democratic Club. I'm very proud of what we accomplished as a new club, and that couldn't have happened without the full support of Phil Currier and Deborah Currier. I'm currently an active e-board member of the Carlsbad Dem. I lead the community service. The last 2 years, I served as the co-lead of the County Party Community Service Committee. I think what I really liked about that was we were able to implement some community service projects throughout the county. And even though I have been focused on North County, San Diego, I was able to expand my knowledge of different areas such as South Bay and Spring Valley. I'm currently also was just elected as an ADEM delegate for the 77th district. And to one of the points that one of the clubs was provided earlier in their presentations, that collaboration between clubs is key. I believe I have done that as a co-lead for community service, working with many of our clubs here in North County. As I mentioned, Carlsbad Dems, Encinitas North Coastal, Oceanside Dems, and Vista Dems, to name a few. What I would like to do is, since I have a background in process improvement and project management, is work with the current committee to understand what is our current state, how are we communicating things today, what is working and what is not, and working together to come up with a plan. And also to Justin's point, I think even in Carlsbad, our school boards are being attacked by the right wings, are anti-DEI, anti-LGBTQ, and recently we've been able to organize a few of us to speak up and write public comments to our school board, but I do agree that it will be important to be able to activate other clubs. Thank you for your support.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, does anyone have any questions for these candidates? We'll take up to 2 questions per candidate. I don't see any questions. Any questions at all? Okay, we're all getting late here. So with that in mind, if no one has any questions, I'm going to, we can go on, put the candidates in the waiting room for debate. So assuming candidates, you are voting for yourselves for this position?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to put you in the waiting room. And then Tasneem as well, I'll put you in the waiting room. And then Diana Aguirre is also going in the waiting room. Okay, great. With that in mind, we're having discussion. So would anyone like to speak on in favor of these candidates? Guests can only observe. So, oh, Diana, are you still in the room?
Yeah, I
okay.
am.
Okay, I meant to get you in the waiting room. Somehow missed that. Okay, put in waiting room. Great. Okay, would anyone like to speak in favor of any of these candidates? Ryan Tribuco, you have the floor. 1 minute.
Thank you, Sonara. I wanted to speak in favor of Justin. You know, we did this Council of Club vote earlier for Club of the Year. Justin was very active in asking some very important questions for some of the clubs regarding hate and some of the discrimination that we've been seeing, as he mentioned in his question, in school board meetings, in city council meetings. I think his perspective on that is invaluable, and I think he's been involved in North County with the party through Escondido Young Democrats, and I just wanted to speak in favor of him because I think his perspective is very invaluable, and hope you all join me in supporting Justin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Banerjee, your hand was up next.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak also in favor of Justin. Justin is one of the most ethical people that I know. I will go to Justin when I'm having questions about, hey, should I do A or B for API Dems? Justin served on the API Dem board for the last few years in various functions. I think Justin's perspective, to echo Ryan, is incredibly important for both North County and for the body writ large. And I think the world of Justin. So yeah, I'm going to speak in favor of Justin.
Okay, sounds good. We're only having up to 2 in favor of 1 person. So if you're speaking in favor of Justin at this point, I'd ask you lower your hand. Do you have comments in favor of any other candidates? Anyone would like to speak in favor of another candidate? Rob Howard?
Yeah, as a someone on the club development committee, I've had the opportunity to work with a number of folks and clubs, and the reason I nominated Deanna is that we had been having conversations about how to help these clubs. I appreciate, you know, situations like this where we have good people running, makes it competitive, but I think that's actually good for the party. But I nominated Deanna because I know the process and thought process and how she works, and I think it'll be a good addition to what we're trying to do on the committee. So I'm here supporting Deanna.
Great, thank you very much. Michelle, who are you speaking in favor of?
Diana as well. Diana has shown herself for years now to be one of the hardest workers. Her name is like not out there. She never cares about getting credit, but she does the work. She's accessible, she's reliable, she's smart, and she really cares. She's one of the most authentic people that I know. So I would have spoken on Justin's behalf also, but I'm definitely speaking for Diana. Please vote for Diana.
Okay, with that in mind, is there anyone to speak in favor of Tasneem? Would anyone like to speak for Tasneem, please? Okay, Rob, your hand is raised. Are you speaking for Tasneem or is it still raised from the last time?
It's still up from the last time.
Okay. Okay, with that in mind, let's go ahead and do a poll. Now, I had said from the beginning that we were going to do seat 1 and then seat 2. So we're going to do it that way because that was what I had said. So I don't want to change it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the club development seat. I'm going to launch that right now. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm not going to do that yet. We need to get everybody who's a guest out of the room. So all of those who are guests, can please help me remove those, Dr. Banerjee and Rob as well, because I don't think you have a vote on this. So, yeah.
I believe all guests have been removed. If there is a guest still on the call, please raise your hand or make it known. Madam Chair, I think we're good.
I think we're good too. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and restart this poll. So relaunch poll. Continue. We had not yet had any one selected. So, yep.
Nara, read the names, please.
Yes, the first name is Tasneem Rahmani. Second name is Justin Domicillo. I have to get his name right. And Diana Aguirre is the third name. So it's Tasneem, Justin, and Diana.
And Madam Chair, I texted you my vote.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I got a text message right when you launched the poll, so I can't see the poll, but I would like to vote for Diana.
Okay. Okay, we have 24 of 28 participating. If someone has not voted, please do so. If you're having a problem voting, let us know.
I can't see the poll. This is Suzanne Hanson.
Okay, Suzanne, do you want to put it in a chat or tell me orally or?
No, I can just tell you I'm voting for Justin and for Diana.
Okay, we're only voting for one first.
Okay,
So-
Justin.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, anyone else wish to vote that has not yet voted? I see Cody, your hand is raised.
I already voted, but I just, and I know people already stated their votes, but maybe this will help for the next one. If you're on your phone and you can't see the poll, which I already had to do this, if you scroll to the more area near like the reactions and stuff, if you click that, it'll have a thing that says polls and you can click to open the poll.
Okay, thank you. Okay, everyone, is there anyone who would like to vote that has not yet voted? Okay, with that in mind, I'm going to end this poll for seat 1. There we have seat 1. I'm going to share the results. We had beyond what's in the Zoom poll, we had an additional 2 votes for Justin, and we had an additional vote for Diana, which means that Justin is the winner. So
Can
now,
you read the numbers, Sonara?
yes, I can. Okay, so Justin received 14 votes. Diana received 10 votes and Tasneem received 3 votes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and stop sharing. Let me see if I can duplicate this poll. Duplicate and edit. Okay, so the next seat is going to be Tasneem and Diana. We're going to eliminate Justin. 2, a single choice, save. Okay, I'm going to launch the second poll for seat 2. it says seat 1, but it is seat 2. So it says seat 2 is there. So please go ahead and vote.
And what order are they in?
Tasneem is first and Diana is second. And Suzanne, are you having trouble voting again? Would you like to give me a
No,
voice?
that worked
Okay.
going to the more section.
Perfect. Great. Thank you very much, Cody, for explaining that. Okay, we have 26 out of 28 people have voted. Is anyone having a problem voting? Has anyone not yet voted who would like to cast a vote? Okay, now, if anyone, I'm going to close the voting. Please let me know if you have issue voting. Going once, going twice, and with 27 out of 28 people voting, I am ending the poll. Diana Aguirre is our second seat winner. She got 22 votes to Tasneem's 6 votes. So with that, we have our 2 winners. We can let everyone back in the audience and back in the room. If someone would like to help me do that, we are back on the meeting. Okay, admit all. Okay, congratulations. Our new members of the Club Development Committee are Justin and Diana. Thank you very much for everyone who participated.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Okay, wonderful. So next up, last item on our agenda before announcements. We're going to go through this relatively quickly, but it's very important. So our friendly endorsement calendar, it is happening now. This is not a tomorrow thing. The Central Committee is going to be voting on a friendly incumbent endorsement for Todd Gloria in March. So Indranil, if you mind going on to the next slide. Okay, so our endorsement schedule. See that link right there, that sddems.links timeline? Follow that and you're going to get what the latest proposed calendar is for friendly incumbent endorsements. It is changing. It's not set in stone, but the proposal as of today, if you go on to slide 17, is as follows. You all have access to all these slides and you should have access to that link. I've also included in your emails. On the 7th of March, the e-board is going to consider a friendly incumbent endorsement for Todd Gloria. That is just the executive board. It is not the final vote. The final vote will take place in Central Committee on the 21st of March for Todd Gloria. Now, this means that clubs are not going to, wow, my video is weird. Clubs are not going to get an input on this because it is only going to be voted on at the main Central Committee. However, if you decide to hold a club vote and you want to have your say, it won't be a formal say, but you can still say, hey, our club voted this way in public announcements, or if you are a voting member, your club has a voting member as part of the discussion. So again, the final consideration about whether or not we're endorsing Todd Gloria is on March 21st. After that, the very next caucus meetings, we are going to be considering endorsements for all of these San Diego City Council members, all of them that are up for election: Joe LaCava, Stephen Whitburn, Raul Campillo, Sean Elo, are all going to be considered on March 27th in Metro West and April 15th in North Inland Caucus. Now, this is only the proposed calendar. If you feel that this calendar, you have a suggestion regarding this calendar, you are welcome to give that suggestion to your vice chair. Because the way it stands today, if your club wants to have a vote on these candidates on a friendly incumbent endorsement, prior to that, and submit that vote and have your associate vote along with your vote, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to give 2 weeks notice. You're going to have your associate ready. Some clubs do not yet have an associate. And you're going to have to submit this with 48 hours to go to the Democratic Party. Now, right here, this slide that Indranil is pointing to is important. You do not necessarily, the club does not necessarily have to give a formal vote for a friendly incumbent endorsement. The Democratic Party rules state that a club associate is unbound as long as there is only one candidate. However, your club's rules, in the case of my club, the Blue Dream Democratic Club, we state that our associate cannot take a vote on any endorsement, including friendly incumbent endorsement, unless the club has voted. So it's a question both of your club's rules and it's a question of the Democratic Party rules. And the real question is, do you want your club to have a vote first, right? Obviously, your associate may be able to do what they wish at the regional caucus, and they may simply say, hey, we haven't had enough time to consider this, therefore I vote no. But if you want your club to have a vote before time, there's only two ways to do that. One is telling your vice chair that you either would like to see this calendar extended to give your club time, or try to do your vote earlier in the month in March if you are a Metro West. Now go back to slide 17, please. That is for Metro West. Now, on this continues into the next, which is we have the South Area Caucus doing a strategically critical race consideration for Chula Vista City Attorney on April 3rd. On April 4th, the E-Board will vote on that Chula Vista City Attorney strategically critical race designation. On April 15th, the North Coastal area will be voting on whether or not to give a friendly incumbent recommendation to Tara Lawson-Remer. So the same thing, your club associate does not necessarily have to give their vote based on the vote of the club if she is the only candidate. But if you want your club to have a chance to consider this candidate formally before the Democratic Party vote, the Democratic Party vote is on the 15th. So it's not required that your club consider these candidates. It's not required that you hold a formal vote. But if you want to do so prior to the Democratic Party recommendation, these are the dates that are in front of us now. It is only a proposed calendar, but it will be the calendar we move forward with unless people suggest changes. So if you wish to have a change, now would be the time to suggest that. The North Inland on April 15th, we'll be voting on a friendly incumbent endorsement for Marnie von Bilpert. And that's going to be in District 5, so that's on April 15th. Again, if your club would like to get their endorsement vote in beforehand, you've got to have 2 weeks notice, and you've got to turn in your results of your vote 48 hours ahead of the Central Committee vote if you want your associate member to vote based on your vote. So I know I've moved really quick because we're at 12:30, but I felt this was really important for clubs to know. So that's why I'm bringing it up. These friendly incumbent endorsements, clubs do not have to take a vote on. You don't have to vote as a member of Central Committee, but if you want to, and if you want to have your club have a formal democratic process, again, you'll want to try to get it in before these dates or ask for an extension of these dates. So can we go on to slide 18? Real quickly, slide 18 are further considerations. The Central Committee as a whole will be voting on all of the City Council recommendations and Tara Lawson-Remer on April 18th. At that point, your regional caucus, where your associate member will have had a vote, will have already be passed. You will still be able to speak in public comment, but your associate member will not have a vote at the full Central Committee. Clubs only, associate members only have a vote at the regional caucuses. Then we're on to the school board races. On April 24th, the Metro West is considering their friendly incumbent school board races. On April 26th, the East County caucus is considering their friendly incumbent school board races. And then on May 2nd, we will be possibly considering an endorsement for San Diego City Attorney. We heard from 2 candidates today. And that's going to be at the E-Board. Again, the clubs are not going to have a vote there, but you can speak during public comment. Then at the full Central Committee on May 26th, we will be examining all the school board races as well as a consideration endorsement for San Diego City Attorney. So that is a really quick, really high level overview of the calendar that is currently proposed. So I wanted to run through that quickly. Michelle, I see you have your hand up. And I hope I've explained that thoroughly.
Yeah, just
Feel
a
free to
couple
ask
of
me
clarifications.
questions.
So it's
Yes.
So it's not actually the E-Board, it's actually the Central Committee. But what I wanted to clarify is that the only ones that are being considered are the ones that have a primary March.
That's correct.
2024, so that's important.
Yes.
So if your area doesn't have a primary election, there's not that the same kind of rush, but it is an excellent idea to start your endorsements looking around at your incumbents in your area that don't have a primary and start bringing them in.
That is absolutely correct. When I'm talking about the city council races being considered, they're the ones for the primary. So they're specifically the city council races in San Diego City, nowhere else. Now, Chula Vista also has primaries. The South Region Director has decided to exempt the South Region from this calendar. She stated the reason that she thought that it would be, it was too quick for her region to move. But nonetheless, if you are a club in the South Region, I would encourage you strongly to start looking at those candidates. The candidates that were originally on this calendar and have been removed for later time, probably may, per my discussions with the South Region Vice Chair, are Chula Vista City Council member Andrea Cardenas and Board of Supervisor Nora Vargas. So if your club will want to consider this prior to the party consideration, I would also recommend jumping on that. Anna, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I was wondering, pardon me, if you could drop that link into the chat that you showed in the beginning.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
And Danny, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I wanted to know what was the formal process for example, if some of these incumbents had challenges, what would be the process for not just straight voting towards an incumbent vote, but to, consider all candidates within the race? And additionally, I think this is a bit early.
Yes, that is an excellent question. So if any candidate has a challenger, friendly incumbent or not, clubs associates are bound. So that means your club associate cannot vote unless your club has held a vote on these candidates. So with that in mind, it actually makes it in some ways a little harder for clubs to make this timeline if there is a challenger. And I see Maral is in the room, so that's great. She can help answer some of these questions, because then in order for your associate to vote, you do need to go through the full process, which is to say you need to hold that vote on your club, give that 2-week notice prior to the vote, hold the vote, and give that 48 hours of notice. Someone muted me? Okay, I'm unmuted. That was weird. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay. So yeah, personally with my club, we do want to do these full considerations. So we're going to be jumping on this very quickly because we want our club members to have a chance to participate. So Danny, I'm going to come back to you, but Maral has her hand raised. And as the person who understands this better than the rest of us, Maral is staff for the county party. Please speak. Maral, you're on mute if you're trying to speak. I'm going to ask Maral to unmute. Her hand is raised, but she's still muted. Oh, we are now over time and North Inland is starting. So I believe that's what Maral is contacting us about. Okay, with that in mind, I think we're going to have to call this meeting to order.
Sonara,
Yes.
I have one quick announcement that has to get made.
Yes.
For those people, the California Alliance of Retired Americans, the Mucho Community Organization supporting this, we have a free bus that is going to do a rally at Kevin McCarthy's office, March 17th. It's free. It's stopping in San Diego and in Oceanside and then going on to Bakersfield. It's a one-day trip. Please check out CaliforniaAlliance.org and sign up or call me. Thanks.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to have to call this meeting to a close at this point because someone else is going to be using the Zoom account. Everything I've covered is in the chat and is in the last email I sent out to you. Thank you everyone for being here, and we are going to end this meeting at 12:37. Thank you for everyone who stayed online.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to Dems for Equality.
Thank you, Sonara.
Thank you.